everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Chai, Coffee, and Customs. Today, we have another special episode with my husband. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Kedar. Apparently, I'm not Vignesh, which is true, and I'm the husband.
He's the husband. Shall we get started?
Sure.
Yes, we're going to open a new can of worms. Let's see what happens. So, you grew up in Delhi. What was life like in Delhi growing up?
Delhi was fun, fast-paced, very stable, a lot of friends, amazing food. I have fondest memories of Delhi growing up. Lived in Mumbai as well in India, but Delhi is home. Delhi was home, I should say that.
That was going to be my next question because I know you moved around in India and Mumbai was one of the places. What was life like there?
Mumbai was eye-opening. You learn to value time in Mumbai. You learn to value money in Mumbai. You never get that opportunity in Delhi. Delhi is how do you show time, how do you show money. Mumbai is how do you make money in what time you have. I think that's the biggest difference. And it's a huge cultural difference between Delhi and Mumbai. And you genuinely don't get time to adapt to it if you move there after spending ages somewhere else. I honestly think it's easier to move to any other place in India from where you have roots, but to Mumbai. You have to have a real grit to move to that city. I'll say that honestly. Okay. And given a choice between Delhi and Mumbai, I'd shamelessly choose Delhi, but Mumbai teaches you. People in Mumbai are not nice. I'll say that openly.
I was completely, for me also it was the opposite. When I visited Mumbai, I met very nice people.
And Delhi, I feel like there's a difference between visiting
and living.
There's a huge difference.
That's true. That's true.
There's a massive difference between both these things. When you're visiting, your eyes are glazed with a different concept altogether. You don't look at it from the necessities of life at all. When we traveled recently, we honestly felt Ireland was one of the prettiest places on earth. The day we came back, one of the biggest racist attacks on an Indian happened in Ireland.
Yeah.
So we met so many Irish people. They were nothing but nice to us. But the level of conversation that we have when we visit a place is different than the level of conversation we have when we stay in a place.
That's
and
true.
I think that's a huge
difference.
Very
true. That's very, very true. So I know you grew up in Delhi and you kind of worked in Mumbai. Work is what made you move to Mumbai,
yes.
From what I know and understand. Mumbai also opened up opportunities for you to move abroad.
Yes.
So what prompted you to move to Muscat and how was that move and what was it like getting adjusted from the Delhi lifestyle to the Mumbai lifestyle and now the Muscat lifestyle?
Move was because of money. No. Anyone who says that's not important is BSing themselves and the rest of the world. Move was always for the money. Adjusting was actually easy because I was already living alone in Mumbai. I've always been used to managing things by myself. Fortunately raised fairly independently. Could always cook, could always clean, could always sew my own clothes. It was never a red flag moment that, oh shit, you're taking a flight and going across a country. How are you going to live? No, never was an issue. It was in fact very easy. Muscat was an amazing opportunity. Different shades of everything over there. But yeah, it was good fun. That's all I'll say about that. It was like, I don't think I'll say anything negative in terms of moving to Muscat or anything. I think it opened up opportunities aplenty and grateful for that. Yeah.
Of course, you have to be grateful. You met me after you left Mumbai and went to Muscat.
Okay, sure. Let's add that there.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, that's what prompted you. Like you moved and then we met and got married and moved together to Muscat, which prompted us obviously to look for other avenues or other places to live.
Yep.
Because it was not a place that we thought that we would settle down. So moving again from Muscat to Canada, what did that feel like? Because now all the times that you've moved, like from Delhi to Mumbai to Muscat, you were single and it was kind of like just pack your bags and go. But now you were moving to Canada as a married man. So did that make a difference moving as a couple?
100%. You're not alone. You're with someone. So there's a shoulder to lean on or a thought process to discuss, or you always will have a yin yang effect, and that kind of is a level setter. So it always makes it easy when you have someone with you.
I think it makes it easy when it's the right someone with you.
Yeah, that's important, and you'll never move if you don't have the right someone. That's the way I see it. Always, in my opinion, and I could be one in a boat on this one. Right decisions with people happen only when they're of the same mindset. So if you see companies that succeed with a group of people, they all think on the same direction. They all think on the same boat. Companies, families dissipate or fall apart because people leading or working together don't have the same thought process. So large decisions, big decisions, when taken together, succeed if everyone's on the same thought process. And I think that has been key for us in all our major endeavors. They've been pitfalls. They'll always be, but I think that's important.
Similar mindset definitely does help. There'll always be differences, obviously, but then major decisions that we have taken together has always been aligned.
Yeah.
Which I think made it a little bit easier to do certain major things in life. Now that we've talked about moving, since you've moved quite a bit in your younger days, not that you're old right now, but in your younger life, what did home mean to you before you moved, and what does it mean to you now?
Home as in before getting married and before settling down and moving, or home as in before now?
I guess the first, like before settling down.
Before settling down, home was just food and a bed to sleep in, honestly.
Okay.
I think that's the easiest explanation I can give, where the immediate family was there, right? My parents, my sister, our dog. So that was home. I'll actually change that definition a bit. That was a house. It was not. It wasn't my home. It wasn't our home. We made a home for ourselves. I think that's the way I'd like to classify it. That's home. Home for me now is where my heart is, where we pour our efforts into creating what we have. We if I take this house as an example, every single inch of this house is planned by us. Every single changes in this house is thought of by us. And this house is complete not because of the walls, it's because of us, it's because of our thoughts, it's because of our ideas, it's because of us putting it in there and making it work for us. I think that's important. So for home for me is where we are, where our son is, where our dog is. I think that's home for me.
So home are the people, not the place.
People make the home. People always make the home. No amount of money can buy people.
So which place has felt the most home to you among
Everywhere
all of
we
them
are
that you've
together.
been?
Everywhere we are together. Everywhere I think amongst all the homes that we've stayed in, I think this home feels the most homely, if I can use that phrase, because this home allows us to have an extension of all of us over here. I think that's something that I enjoy. It's the people who make the home. It's the people who make a family. And for me, the home is where we are to start with, because then things kind of circle around. That doesn't mean we are the center of the universe. That means we are able to have people come together to say, this is home. This is just, let's just enjoy. Kind of a thing. Even if it is for 2 hours, 3 hours, it's amazing. It's an amazing experience to say, yeah, we're together, kind of a thing. But home is where we are as us.
And again, since you've moved around a lot, was there any place that you felt like an immigrant for the first time?
Muscat.
Muscat?
Yes.
Why?
You don't know the language. Restrictions. You are allowed to come in only for 2 years, and then you have to extend. And your extension is not dependent on you; it's dependent on your employer. So you can't own anything. You can't start a business. I can start a business anywhere in the world as an immigrant, except you're always on a temporary work permit in Middle East. So while the money is great, you're tax free and so on and so forth, you do not have a status other than a laborer or an employee in Middle East. Even when you want to enterprise and create something of your own, you have to have a local person as your partner, and many a case a majority partner, right? Even if it is silent. As a minor, you need to have someone. You need to know people at the right places to get anything done. You came into Middle East practically without a visa. That's because I knew people who could get that done. When you needed to fly into Middle East, I was simply told, just tell her to go to the airport.
Yeah, I remember getting onto the flight without a visa. And I was like, I'm going to Middle East without a visa.
So, and For that to
That's
happen,
going to be fun.
for that to happen, you need to know people. And when you're working in a environment that is built on that, you don't have any value. Okay, your value is worth what you're paid at the end of the month, and that's about it. So yes, Middle East was 100% where I genuinely felt as an outsider.
Did you feel the same way when you came to Canada?
Not in the least bit. Not in the least bit.
And what changed that? Like why was it different?
Multitude of reasons. Very welcoming place. I mean, right from the onset, the experience was brilliant. Right from entering the airport, the experience was brilliant. The whole aspect of coming in, we didn't even know Roshni Auntie and Anshul Uncle, and we didn't know they existed. They didn't know we existed. And for someone to come in and say, "You have a place, come." For someone to say, "Let me introduce you to my friends." For someone to say, "This is what you need to do." It's based on a couple of things. The way I saw it, it's based on their experiences. It's based on it's based on their personalities, their characteristics, which is just them being amazing people. But it is also based on the nature of the environment that they're in, which is what this place is about. Like, we've been here since 2012, and I don't think there's a single day where I've felt, why are we here? You cannot pay me enough to go away from here. It's as simple as that for me.
Yeah, I know you'll really love it here.
I have nothing but joy about this place.
What was the most unexpected culture shock you faced, or something that you weren't prepared for?
In
Whether it was in
Canada?
Muscat or Canada, or yeah, like either all places.
I think it wasn't a culture shock. It's a culture shock because people don't have acceptance. That's my philosophy. You treat something as a culture shock because you don't have the ability to accept that as the normal. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. So
Well, that's why it's a shock, right?
yeah, it's exactly why it's a shock,
it's a
right? But
deviation
the
from
moment
the
you
normal.
accept it and you start working towards it, it becomes normalcy for you as well, right? So I think the biggest thing for me here was, and I don't know if it's even worth calling it a culture shock. So when you look at other larger economies, people take chances on people in terms of work, in terms of, I would say, opportunities. And Canada, slightly different.
I see where this is
Okay,
going.
so we in Canada work on the logic of, should we call it tenure? Again, this is where it's a lost inference of what it means. Should we call it tenure? Should we call it experience? Should we call it local experience? What is it? Right?
Canadian
Canadian
experience.
experience. I don't want to use the term. It's an asinine term. Canadian experience. It's bullshit. Even new graduates in universities today don't have Canadian experience.
Of course, 100%.
As clear as it is, they
yeah.
don't have, because they don't have jobs in the market at this point of time. So accepting that and how to mitigate that, I think that's where the gap was for me when we came to Canada, right? Because we came with capable experience. We came with enough knowledge on how to do things.
We
how to
came based
manage
on our
things.
educational background.
We were allowed into the country based on our education and experience.
Yep.
Those were the two things that gave us points to enter this country. Okay. For that to be, I won't call it dismissed. I would call it evaluated differently. That was where the gap was for me, right?
That is kind of a culture shock, because if you look at it, that is what the culture is, or normal is here, which was a little bit abnormal for us.
Which is where the difference is, and it takes a while for some people to adjust to it. It takes a while for some people to accept that concept that, okay, I need. So a great example here is the concept of volunteering.
Yeah.
I think that's the most bullshit concept on the planet in terms of employment.
Yep.
That is worse than bonded labor system, in my opinion, because you're abusing the capabilities of a person for the want of getting your work done, because you're incapable of hiring efficiently.
But did you find that once you got integrated into the culture or the system, did you find that you were trying to do things differently based on your experience when you landed, or did you find that other people who were also maybe in similar situations try to change the system a little bit?
I don't think I have changed in any manner at all. Honestly, I mean, that's my perception about me. Have I changed the way I work? To a certain degree, yes. Not because of the culture, but because of the work environment. Okay. I came from a financial world. I joined a technical world.
Yeah.
So I had to do a tilt shift. So whatever changes I had to make were not because of the culture shock aspect or the cultural aspect of it. The changes I had to make were to manage or manifest myself into the technical environment of things. Okay. That's where the changes were.
That was actually going to be my next question. Like, did you ever feel like you had to change a part of yourself to fit in, or
No, never.
no?
I didn't have to change anything at all. And that's one of the things I love about Canada. We are who we are. I have never had to change myself in any manner. I've never had to change my approach in any manner. And I have had nothing but acceptance from everyone in everything I've worked towards, whether it be clients, whether it be friends, whether it be people. Um, I I don't think I'm yet to encounter a situation in Canada where I have to bring in the concept of racism or anything that says
No,
that was a bad taste in the mouth kind of a thing.
I think we've been fortunate that
We've
way.
been
We've
fortunate,
met people who have been of similar, if not same, wavelengths.
And I think that's important, right? Because the circle you keep defines the people you meet, right? If I'm meeting, I was having a word which I don't think I want to use right now, but okay.
It's okay.
If you
not.
meet,
It's not a kid-friendly show.
if you meet people who don't have a good circle around them, it's going to reflect on you, and then it's on you to decide, I need to walk away or I need to manage this, right? There are two different things there. So we were fortunate to meet the right people who had the right circles, who are always there for each other in all aspects, right? And we've been fortunate that way. We've also had the situation where we've met people who are not necessarily bad people, but were not of our wavelength. And I think that's where the managing side of it comes into for us to say, okay, that's a cord I need to cut, right? And we've cut that cord. No remorses, nothing, no hard feelings. You go your path, I go my path.
Also,
Thank
I
you
think
so much.
everybody is at the depends on what stage of life you're in as well, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So, with all that, like, do you miss anything from a place from before, or like maybe something that you used to do in Muscat that you are not able to do in Canada, or something that you miss about,
I don't miss
who you were
anything.
back then?
I don't miss anything about Muscat, not even in the most minuscule manner. I don't think I miss anything.
Actually, I'm with you on that because even I don't miss Muscat.
Not even the national anthem.
I don't even know the national anthem.
So,
What was
hang
that?
on.
I don't know if that's.
I come from a military school, so let's not diss national anthems, okay? So no, I will not buy that.
Not even that song.
People enjoyed, man. Like the 800,000 people of that city enjoyed it. So
Or what was that song? Muscat.
yeah, we but it was good fun, right? I mean, they enjoyed it. I don't miss anything in Muscat. No, I couldn't give a shit about that. I genuinely couldn't give a shit about that.
Like even the food and stuff, I'm sure you were exposed to some new, like some of the stories you said about the whole feast that you've had, that you like.
The feast was a cultural experience, not a food experience.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There was during Ramzan, them breaking the feast, inviting me in. It was more of a cultural experience which I enjoyed than the food. The food was nothing. It was just a pita bread, hummus, and dates.
But that was not something that you were exposed to, right?
Oh, no. I grew up in India. I had
like dates and pita bread and hummus.
Multicultural friends. I've had the experience of Ramzan feast being broken in one of the most amazing places where you could experience this culturally. It's called Balli Mara Mohalla, where Mirza Ghalib grew up, and I experienced it there. You can't beat that. As much as I respect Murad and his household in Muscat, you can't beat that Balli Mara Mohalla experience. Okay, so no, I don't miss that from Muscat. What do I miss from my
It doesn't have to be Muscat, yeah.
No,
from
what do I
anything,
miss
or
from my
about
past
who
is
you were back then.
I think no, I don't miss anything about who I was back then. Who I was has made me who I am today,
Fair enough.
right? So I
I
have
believe the same.
zero regrets in who I was. Absolutely, no shame in saying that, or no fear in saying I have zero regrets. What I miss is maybe a remote, maybe a couple of friends whom I could count on one hand. Those are the only things I miss. Those are
So the people
that is
again.
the only thing I miss. The weird thing is all of them are, maybe one or two of them are in India, but the rest of them are all spread out, right, across the world. So I think that is the only amazing piece of memory that I have from India remaining to say, yeah, I miss those guys. I miss those friends of mine. I still speak to them every now and then. I still connect with them virtually or through chat or something. Some of them are in US, some of them are in UK, some of them are in India. We still connect, but I missed those days where we would just, and I'm sure they do as well, because life comes in the way. People get busy. They have, all of them have three kids now. Uh, we've most of us have gray hairs, but at the end of the day, I think
Or no hair.
or no hair. Actually, so two of them have no hair.
I don't know.
Like a couple of guys in my group have no hair. But the thing is, I think the thing is what we were always together. The good, bad, the ugly kind of a situation, right? Whatever the situation was, we were together. There was this handful of us who stood beside each other for anything and everything, and that is the only thing I miss. I couldn't care about food. Yeah, India has amazing food. India has also got some bad food. So no disrespect to any food, but you know what food we can get,
Yep.
right? People, you can't.
That's true.
What I miss. That's genuinely what I miss.
And has there been any moment here where you felt proud of being an immigrant?
Yeah, okay. I'll answer it in two different ways.
Okay.
One is when we've achieved certain milestones in life.
Okay.
Our first house, flipping that to the second house, the move to Vancouver, coming back, flipping the house and buying this place. I think that's an achievement.
But did that make you proud as an immigrant, or just proud of how, like, it's just more of like a milestone
Being
achievement?
proud as an immigrant is a small fraction of it. Being proud as a person is a major component of it, right?
I think I felt proud when we got our citizenship, because that was moving on from being an immigrant to now part of the country.
We worked towards it, right? It wasn't a target, it was a goal, right? I mean, goal and target, I kind of have a loose definition between them. Target is like defined, like, okay, you do this, you get this, you do this, you get this, you do this, get this, right? A goal is I want it, I have to
But we
achieve it.
came here to be part of the country.
So, but here's the challenge, right? We personally know people who've come here
Taken the citizenship or
and gone back,
yeah.
or just resided here as permanent residents because the
We have one among us right now.
the interest rates outside are better, right? Like I've had conversations with people saying, "Why aren't you taking the citizenship?" Oh, I get only 0.25% or 1% interest rate here. I
It
get
could also be
6%.
because they have like some kind of inheritance
That's the
land
other side of it,
in,
right?
in
Because I
back
have
home,
farmland
wherever.
in India. That's most of the time, right? They're very lazy, right? Because that is most of the time. People are lazy. So for me, when we got the citizenship, we always knew we wanted it, right? We always knew wanted it.
And
So
unfortunately for us, they changed the rule
Yeah.
from 3 years to 4 years at the
Yeah.
time.
And
So we had to
it
wait
still
for one
didn't-
more year.
For me, the citizenship was an amazing finish line to cross, but that was never the finish line for me, ever, right? That was something that, yeah, I'm here, I'm going to make that happen. I know I'm going to make that happen. But what is it that defines me being here? What defines me being here is where we are today. Where we are today, where compared to where we were 2012, right? We've come to a point, we are at a point where we are fortunate enough to say, you know what, okay, they're coming in. I have a roof that I can offer for them for a couple of months to stay here. Zero hesitation in that. You want a car? Take my car for the next 2 weeks. Just use it. You do what you need to do, right? We are at a
Giving back, basically.
Sorry,
Giving back.
giving back, but giving back in a tangible way, wherein we are in a position, we've leveraged our existence in Canada in a way to know the right people at the right places to get some stuff done, right? I think that's important. So for me, the definition of succeeding I mean, I don't even know if I want to quantify succeeding as an immigrant. I honestly don't know
I
if I
think
want
we're
to
still
quantify.
evolving and growing, probably.
No. I sorry, I have a difference of opinions here.
Okay.
For me, succeeding as an immigrant was a misnomer because I chose to come here. Nobody, like, I chose to come
That's
here.
true. We made a
We made a
conscious
conscious decision to
choice.
come
Yeah.
here. So it's on me, right? So for me to succeed as an immigrant, it's not a question of buying a house. It's not a question of having a BMW. It's not or a fancy car. It's not a question of having a great job. It's a question of succeeding in life. It's not a question of a passport in my hand.
Integrating into the system and
It's
being part
being
of
a
the
part of the community
Yeah.
overall and being a contributing part of the community.
100%.
We've paid taxes since the day we've landed in this country.
Yep.
That's a success factor for me. My taxes have been utilized in an efficient manner. That's a success factor for me. I have voted in every bloody election since we landed in this country,
Not landed and since we became a citizen.
since we became a citizen. So that's a success factor for me. So I
I
have
think the
made
ability to have the choice.
my choices are counted for something. I have utilized my own taxes in terms of whether it be medical services, whether it be road services. I have utilized it, right? That's a success factor for me. Becoming a citizen was a default decision and a direction I walked into. It was my choice, our choice. It was a great milestone, but that was never the end point for me. It still not is. Even now I'm not like, yeah, where's my end point? I don't even know myself. I want to keep moving my goalpost to say, what do we do next? Where do we go next from here? Right?
That was quite an eye opener. But I mean, having moved here and everything, and like we came in as a couple, and we did face quite a few hurdles
Yeah.
before we made it in this country, right? So it took us quite some time to find jobs and be a little bit more like get our first house, and everything was quite a bit of a struggle. And did you find that at any point, like even now, like has our relationship changed or grown or is still changing, evolving since we've immigrated together?
Heck yeah. Perpetually changing, perpetually evolving. And I think that's the beauty of it. I mean, it's really sad to say, no, we're still the same. Oh, God, that's the most fuck all thing to say, right? Sorry. No, constantly evolving. Look at how we were making decisions then and look at how we're making decisions now.
Yeah, we sold our car to go on a Europe trip
We sold our car to fund an overseas trip
when we were in Muscat.
just for doing it, right? Different. I mean, logically, if we see, yeah, we knew we were leaving the country, so it only made sense. But the whole logic was we could have very well kept the money to come here. We said no, we're going to splurge and go on a trip.
Well,
Thought processes were different.
we have an experience.
Thought processes were different, right? No, we have an experience, yes, but the mental process was completely different, right? When we look at things today, even though we know that's very manageable, the thought process is, do we really need it right now? Okay.
Do you remember the IKEA story?
Yeah. The difficult days and the not so difficult days, both sides of it, right? So the difficult days were when the table is still sitting there, where we struggled to return a table. Forget buying it. Buying it was even more difficult to return a table. And today we used to walk around IKEA identifying what we would buy, not buy, and pat ourselves on our back. With not for the logic of not buying. The logic was we're saving money by
yeah,
not
we
buying.
would write down all the amount and everything and add it up and say, today we did not spend
$400 or
$400 and feel good about
Feel good
ourselves.
about it. Not that we saved, we didn't have jobs. Today, when we walk through the same IKEA aisles and the inflation rate has taken that same desk or chest of drawers, which was $40 then, to about $110 today, can we pick that chest of drawers up by default? Yes. Thankfully, by default, yes. We worked our way up to a point. It's like, yeah, sure, we can pick it up tomorrow if we need it.
But do we really need it?
But do we really need it? Nobody's sitting in that room. The person who comes to that room has a suitcase and is going to be using that room for 2 days. Do I really need it? Can I do something else? I think that's the evolution.
Now we have to share the story of that table. Yes, please.
So we bought the table.
Because why did we buy the table?
We bought the table because our cousin was coming in from US for a visit, and we wanted a table. Again, see, the thought process there was: do we really need a table? Do we really need a table? And I'll digress very slightly to a small incident that happened down the road when we bought our first house. We didn't call our friends because we didn't have furniture.
For almost, I think, 6
For almost
months.
6 months.
We
And
didn't
then
have
one day
furniture.
Ranjan uncle came.
We used to sit on the floor.
person who hosted us came and said, why haven't you called anyone? Said, we don't have furniture. His answer, I wish I had the brains when we bought that table. But I'm glad we bought the table, hindsight, because
It's still here 13 years
still here
later.
13 years later, and it's given us a memory that we still laugh about. He said, people who value you will sit on the floor with you and eat. They don't need a furniture. And that has stuck with me. So we really didn't need the table. So we bought the table, we came home, and that was the cheapest bloody table at IKEA at that point of time. And we open it, and as with all IKEA tables, you have to flip it to hook the legs on, and we flip it, and there's a big ass crack under the table. The table's not broken, it's just the wood has a crack on it. The top side is perfectly fine. I can live with that. She couldn't. So we had to return it. But here's the apathy of the return story. It was peak winter. We're looking at about minus 25.
It was our first winter.
It was our first winter in Canada. We were clearly not used to it. And we couldn't afford a cab to go back to IKEA to return that table. So there used to be a free shuttle, and we had to carry that table to that shuttle, which was about 1.5 kilometers. But 1.5 kilometers in minus 20 with winter boots and snow is not easy. We did it. We went to IKEA, took a new table, and came back. And IKEA was weird enough to give us 4 additional chairs. We didn't want chairs. They gave us 4 more chairs, which we returned to them because we didn't have the energy to carry 4 more chairs with us.
We said we don't want it.
Because we are still going back in that same free shuttle and have to carry that table back, which is now packed. It's in a box. At least the open table, we could just carry it like that. And that table still sits with us. It has, when we bought our first home, there was a nook where, for all weird reasons, that table fit exactly to the T. In the kitchen. There was a bay window, and that bay window, it was a octagon shaped window, and it just fit there to the T. When we moved to our other home in Brampton, it sat for the longest time in the basement doing art projects. When we moved to this house, it became the changing table, and now it's sitting here. So it has been a part of our life since we bought. It has a weird ass story behind it. But it taught us a lot of things. Like, really, did we need that bloody table?
Apparently, we do need it because it's here still 13 years later.
It's still a garbage dump for us, but we use it, right? But I think that's the decision, that's the evolution that has come from a thought process perspective. Like, okay, someone's coming. We genuinely had a thought process. If there are too many people in the house and someone needs to sleep in the basement, we should get a sofa bed. No, screw it. And I think that's where the thought evolution is now, to say we would have done the table story then, but today we are like, nah, we have a spare mattress, we're going to drop it on the floor. It's 2 days. They can manage. People who are coming here, their family, they'll be able to manage. Full stop. And I think that's the evolution that is there in the mentality or mindset, based on your question.
For both of us?
For me, yes, we together have made smarter decisions.
That's for sure, yes.
That's important.
I do agree with that.
There are times where my philosophy is I'll never hesitate in spending on ourselves. I'll think twice before spending on someone else, no matter who they are. I'll never think twice on spending on ourselves. I'll never change that logic. It's coming, I'm using it, my family's using it, I don't wish it, I'll buy it, I'll spend on it. And I think that's where the second eye thought process helps, because that's where the sensibility comes, like, no, let's just pause on it. Right? I think that's where our together evolution has been. I think you have evolved incredibly over the last number of years that we've been here. Your work is a great example. I don't think 8 years back or 5 years back even, or 6 years back even, you would have done what you're doing today.
No, I wouldn't have dreamed of it.
And again, right, it's a group effort always. Like there's a tiny part of me which always says I still chose the name Design by Lux kind of a thing, right? I'll always say that, right? So I think it's important for us. The co-evolution has been, we've stood by each other in terms of whatever decision it is, whether it be going to Vancouver or whether it be starting an entrepreneurial.
Even moving here, I think, as a couple, and sticking it out here as well, because I know there were days where at least I thought of going back when we were not getting jobs. I think you kind of said, no, we are here, we will make it, kind of a thing.
There was a CEO of a company I had met long back, where he said in a meeting, and I was in that meeting, and he said, "No decision is wrong. You have to make it right." And I think that stuck to me. And it was never a question of ego that if we go back, it's like you couldn't cut it. I don't think that was ever an issue for me. For me, it was more of we took a decision to come here. Nobody called us to come here. We took a decision to come. We're going to make it work. And I think we have in many ways made it work.
I think we did good so far. Okay, that was all about immigration. Now we're gonna go. I mean, we're gonna go a little bit more into like the customs, and now that you're a parent, into a little bit of parenting as well. So, coming to customs, and I know this, but then for the audience, are you religious or traditional?
Used to be religious, used to be traditional, couldn't care less now.
I
Why?
don't think you were ever religious. You
Spiritual.
you followed what our parents or grandparents were doing.
But
If
isn't
you
that
weren't-
isn't that the ethos of any
No,
culture?
Religious is when you are sitting doing puja and everything. You never did that.
No. So let's digress a bit since you brought this up. How did you learn to speak English?
By talking.
To whom? By
Talking.
you were taught.
Answer.
You were taught in school. Okay. You know the basics. You know the basics of. You know the basics of physics. Okay. Earth is not the center of the universe. Earth revolves around the sun. How did you learn this?
By learning.
By
By
learning.
School, yeah.
Yeah.
By being taught.
Right? So, religion is the same. You see, hang on, you see others do it, it impresses upon you. Take our mother as an example. She'll be praying. A kid comes in, she's like, "Come sit with me." Why is it come sit with me? Not that she wants the presence. She wants to inculcate the habits and the practices that she is doing into her grandson. Nothing wrong with that. But that is how progression or propagation of logic happens. There is a reason why there are missionaries to spread a religion. Okay? To spread a religion. There's a reason conversion happens. We're digressing into a whole shithole of a conversation point, but
Okay.
religion is practiced in different manners, and then you have atheism. I consider myself as an atheist now. Okay? That's where I see myself.
So what changed then? Why did you become like that?
A whole lot of things. When I see,
And you can share stuff.
yeah, I mean, yes and no. I'll share to a degree. When you see religious entities and practitioners getting into financial wind domains,
I remember that day.
why? You have no business of doing this. There is no, you're a religious entity. I know religious entities that are just religious and survive on contributions and donations. Your entire propaganda is changing. I don't see the logic. You're clearly not a religious entity anymore. You're a for-profit organization. You're no longer a not-for-profit organization. So take that veil off of religion. That's one thing.
I don't think that changed your thought. I think that was kind of
That was
start
a tipping point.
Yeah.
Right? Where I jumped over the edge was obviously when we had our first pregnancy. The world said its prayers, including me. Right? And nobody stood with a prayer next to me in the darkest of hours, but someone I never knew, someone who's not even from this country, a young doctor who was from Australia, stood and cried with me. And I think that was my tipping point. And that's the point I said, fuck religion. It doesn't exist for me anymore. It's not that it changed the parameters of my thought process. I always was a man of science. I still will be a man of science. I believe in facts. I believe in findings. I believe in proof of concepts. I just don't believe in a rock anymore. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. I'm not going to go and ask anyone to change their faith or belief. All power to you. Just don't come to me for it. That is it. Right? You do what you want. Don't bother me with it. That's my thought process.
Yeah, I will never forget that Australian doctor's face.
It's etched in my head.
I don't remember his name though, but I do
Not for
remember
the
his
fact that he
face.
cried, but for the fact he didn't pray. He just stood with me and he said, I'm here. At that point, humanity mattered more than religion. And that was it for me. That's it.
Okay, that was very emotional, but but yeah, I will never forget that day, and I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
So then, how do you define culture for yourself if you're not religious or traditional?
Culture for me would be people. Culture for me would be anything that brings about a spark, a joy, kind of a thing, right? What we did, that karaoke night. I did not expect myself to go and do that. It was good fun, right?
Thank you.
It
I didn't expect you
it
to.
was
sing.
it was a good cultural experience for me,
Yeah.
right? Every once in a while we'll say, I just want that solid, good Indian food. You will want a pure vegetarian food. I just want a great kadai chicken or something. And it's like, if I can find a restaurant that makes it in that level, oh my God, I will go there again. That's a cultural experience for me, right? You guys going to a Hindi movie tomorrow.
So are you
Not
saying
because
culture, your culture seems to be gravitating more towards the Indian side? Is that only?
No. I couldn't. I'm not. That's a good part of it, definitely. But think of it from a experience perspective. There is a reason why we want to go to the Christmas market.
True.
There is a reason why we want to go to a mall and see Santa.
True.
Okay. There is we when we see kids coming in during Halloween for trick or treating, we don't want to discourage them. That's cultural embellishment.
So celebration.
It's a celebration of what we have. Watching fireworks during New Year's as a community, as a family. That's cultural for me, right? We still celebrate Diwali. We hold it at our house now, right? And that's great. Everyone comes dressed culturally, and 20 minutes later, when photographs are taken, everyone's in jeans and t-shirt again, right? That's cultural, a mix of things, right? And I
Which
think
is
that's
what Canada is
which
about
is what we
anyways,
are
yeah.
about, right? So I think that's what my definition of culture is.
Now that you've defined culture, do you have that pressure as a father to pass on some of
Heck no.
that culture to your child?
No, because I'm not half as Indian that I grew up as. So why would I force him to do anything? Our son is going to a Catholic school. We are both atheists in so many ways, in absolute ways, to be frank. I don't think I'll ever force him into anything.
So then, do you look at culture tying in with religion?
Historically, if you look at it, that is a fact. If you look at it on a larger, grander scheme of things, that is a fact. Everything that is cultural is bound to religion in some manner. Okay? Why do we celebrate Diwali? Just not because we like to light up lights. The whole concept of Diwali is, in Ramayana, Ram rescued Sita and came back to Ayodhya. So the logic of Diwali is that there's a reason 10 days before that we celebrate Dashera, because he killed Ravana on that day, right? There's a concept of Navratri where it's not the food part. Why do we have Navratras, right? So that's the India side of it. The logic of Easter, Good Friday, all of these have they are embedded from a religious perspective. So it's not right to say culture is different or totally separate from religion. At least I don't think so. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on that one. But yeah, for me, culture is partaking in everything, but knowing where you draw your line, kind of a thing. I think that's where I would keep it.
Culture can also be food, experiences,
Absolutely.
participating in
Yeah.
everybody's celebration,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like you said, we celebrate Diwali, but we also celebrate Christmas.
exactly.
So also celebrate Easter.
Yeah.
So we do celebrate.
We put a tree in our house.
Yeah. We put lights in our house
We
for
love
Diwali.
For Diwali, we put like
We
literally
make Pongal for Pongal. So
a month and a half after Diwali, we have a Christmas tree in the house. There are people who come over with gifts. We all have a gift exchange, and everything happens, right? So yeah.
because you're saying now culture is like tied in with religion, there are obviously certain societal expectations around festivals and rituals and religious practices. Is like how do you balance that, the view of your view of culture with what the societal expectations are?
Not give a damn about society. It's as simple as that. The day we start worrying about society is the day we start following someone else's norms.
True.
Be true to yourself. Again, I go back to what I said. All power to you. Do what you want to do. Just don't pull me into it if I don't want to be pulled into it. If I want to do it, I'll participate. Otherwise, all the best to you. Right? So, yeah, I genuinely don't. I won't say I don't care about what people do. I say it doesn't bother me.
Like, were you celebrating Christmas and Easter
heck
and stuff when you were in India?
I was celebrating Christmas, Eid. I lived in probably one of the most Islamic areas in Mumbai when I was living there. And I wouldn't miss a single day of Firni during Ramzan and Eid. Grew up in the most multicultural way, celebrated every damn thing possible.
That's also like it's
Right?
true. India is actually multicultural as well.
I've gone to
many ways.
gurudwaras, I've gone to mosques, I've gone to temples in India, and
I think that exposure is also what makes you question and
no,
question the norms, I guess.
No, it doesn't make you question because when you're growing up in that culture, when you're growing in that environment, you don't think or question, you participate.
True.
Okay, you simply participate.
But
right?
not everybody participates. I'm sure some people are
so
they're told not to participate or
are told not to do things, right? But we never grew up in that environment. Like I had friends across the board. I had friends who were Sardar, so I've gone to gurudwaras with them. I have friends who are Christian. I've gone to churches with them, and I've had friends who were Muslim, and I've gone into a mosque. I've seen the mosque from an architectural perspective and a design perspective. I've never
prayed. In Muscat, we've gone to mosques.
In Muscat, we've gone to mosques. So I think that's where my logic is.
So have your thoughts then changed about like the Indian customs after moving to Canada in any way, or even after becoming a parent?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you need to explain that question.
Like whatever you've experienced in India growing up, like the culture, the customs that were there. Like you did mention many a times that your family, at least your grandparents, were very religious, and your grandfather has built temples and stuff.
Yeah.
Has that thought changed in any way, or because that I would say that that's sometimes the core of what defines you.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're exposed to that and that's what you've been seeing, and that's probably not what our little boy will be seeing, right?
Yeah.
So do you find that it's going to be different with him, or
100%.
have your thoughts changed on
100%. It depends on how much we expose him to India in person. Like you can only get so much from a book. Okay, like you when we travel, we can always Google what to do where, right? Or we can buy those discovery books which say what to do in this town. It's only when we go there we experience things.
is that something that you'd want for him?
I don't know if the opportunity will exist.
For the past, I would say 3 years, we've gone every year.
But for different reasons. Okay.
He's been exposed to culture, like your wedding.
No. But you got to see what his age of absorption is also not there yet.
That's
right?
fair.
Sorry, but to come back to his original point, like probably some time ago, you're still going in as a tourist.
Yeah. We don't go to India.
We've always gone as a tourist.
With the purpose of anything else but coming back.
But we're still more Bollywood than these guys.
Right?
That's because of the environment we grew up in.
That's true. We were exposed.
We had a video club.
Yeah, Hindi video club. And Malayalam and Tamil. Yeah.
So, what takes us to India?
Your parents.
It's only the grandparents.
Yeah, and our parents for now. Yeah,
both the grandparents.
Both the grandparents.
Right? Outside of that, what's the reason to go to India?
Really, actually nothing.
None. Okay? So, which is why I'm saying, and as hard as the truth may be.
But you've always said you want to take him to the places you've grown up and show him.
Again, you got to understand, right? I mean, even if I take him to the places we've grown up as kids in Delhi and eventually in Bangalore, one, they're not the same. B, if I take Arvind when he's of a perceptible age, when he's of an absorption age, let's say 5 years down the road, when he's about 8, when he's a bit more broad-headed to say, okay, this is interesting. The Delhi I grew up in
It's very different now.
was not the Delhi 10 years back
True. I
or
agree.
15 years back. Forget 5 years from now. So I will never be able to show him what I grew up in. So the Delhi he sees 5 years from now, or the Bangalore he sees 5 years from now, will be culturally so different than what you grew up in Bangalore even as a student. It's not worth it. Okay, in my opinion. So I can tell him the grandiose stories of me growing up as a kid, climbing trees, falling down and getting injured, but I think the buck stops there. Okay, because outside of the grandparents being in India, I genuinely don't have any other reason to go to India.
Same. I would say it's the same for us as well. Yeah.
So for me,
It's again the people.
it's
Boils
it's,
down to the people than the
it's
place.
yes, it boils down to the company we keep that instill culture and values in him, in addition to what we instill in him.
True.
That's what matters for me.
So based on that, do you think our child will see the world differently based on our journey? Because we have come here as immigrants and we've moved quite a few places. He seems to be in the route of settling or being in one place. So do you think his way of seeing the world will be different because of our journey or just because of how he is embedded into?
His way of seeing things will be his way of seeing things. We will
I
have
love that answer, by the way.
we should have zero influence in how he sees things.
100%.
Our job is to educate him to be able to evaluate things that he sees
Yep.
between right and wrong,
And choose his own
and
path.
understanding that no is an absolutely fine one-word sentence. I think that's our job.
There is no, but it's just no.
Yeah. So our job is that.
Because
How
the but
he
comes the
sees-
moment you feel guilt.
Yeah. How he sees things is his choice. If he comes to us with questions on validating how he's seeing things, our job is not to validate what he's seeing, but our job is to tell him how we are seeing things so that it helps him
Self-validation
justify his
also.
answers for himself. I'm not here to validate anything for him. I'm here to guide him. That's me. Like that's how I would see it.
Looking at the future, how do you want our son to see himself? Indian, Canadian, both, neither?
No, he's a Canadian. He's a Canadian. You gotta. We are Canadians. Okay, we are Canadians. The day we chose to take the Canadian citizenship, we became Canadians. Okay, it's like in tech, we have this funny situation when a client implements our system. Couple of months later, they'll complain, this thing is not working. I was like, okay, so how did you do that? Oh, we still have the old system turned on. We checked it there. Why do you have it turned on? You're not accepting the new system because you still have your old system turned on. The day you turn it off, you will learn to rely on the new system. The challenge that we have as immigrants is there is always this invisible fishing cord, which is connected to the other country, the old country, and no one cuts it. I'm not saying you got to sever the cords completely, but you got to value the country that has accepted you and let you come in and make something out of yourself. You chose to come here. I'll always say that. Nobody forced you to come here. So when I see those funky stickers on cars that say,
We saw one today,
I saw one
Gurgaon,
today.
with the fire sign on the top.
I like the fact.
License plate.
Haryana.
Haryana.
Yeah, I'm not averse to that. You know, I love the fact that you love the
I've seen
place.
Kerala.
I've seen Kottayam also, right? Okay, so I saw a license plate called Kottayam. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, you don't see something called Nairobi. Okay, you do not see a sticker called Joburg. Okay, you do not see a sticker called Ireland. Okay,
Hey, maybe you've just not come across
you do
it.
not even see Sri Lanka or Bangladesh. We have people from Sri Lanka or Bangladesh here. That's the challenge is.
But you'll see these, the boxing gloves, with
Which is fine.
which is you're within your
but
space.
you're
Nobody
within
can
your
see.
space. You're not you're not broadcasting it. Okay.
The patriotism doesn't go. When you've come here, this is like he said, you've come here to integrate and be part of this system and society and culture. Do it.
Yeah. People need to, for me, when I look at our son, he is Canadian. He's going to be growing up as a Canadian.
He may choose to be someone else when he grows up, but
Again, that's his choice. That's completely his choice. We were born Indians, we grew up as Indians, and we are now here. That we made that choice. His choice is his to make. But for me, future-wise, yeah, we are Canadians. It's Canadian. It's a very simple logic for me.
okay.
Again, I'm not losing any love for India. I grew up there. I have all the respect for the country, where it was and where it is. I have the deepest respect for what they've achieved. But this is home. This is where my presence is. My taxes, my earnings, my security is here.
My sandwich. Mine?
Mine?
So then, since you say you love India and you grew up there, and obviously you gained some tradition, some cultures, and some kind of, like the upbringing that you had over there. Do you want any of those to be passed on to our son? If so, what and why?
Respect. We teach respect. I should change the sentence. Respect is taught very well in India. I will first want that. Okay. Discipline is our job. It's not the community's job. I think respect is something that is the one thing. If I could embed in our son from how I learned, that's the one thing. Nothing else.
Yep.
Nothing else at all.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, respect will automatically.
Because when you learn to
Instill a lot of
respect things around you, the other things will start respecting you.
That's true.
That's important.
Okay. And is there anything you've learned from your son? I mean, I know he's still very young, but is there anything that you've learned from our son about living in a new culture? Because now obviously we're exposed to so many things. Is there anything that you've learned or are learning or hope to learn while he's growing up? Don't say hockey, please.
Enjoy and experience everything once. I was like, wow. Like when you look at it from a child's eye, and it feels very odd making that statement. But when you look at it from a child's eye, it's net new every day. When he says, I don't want it, it's not nice, it's not because he doesn't like it, he is seeing others say it. He's seeing us say it. But the moment he experiences, like, oh, I like this, I want it. So it's net new. We don't treat things as net new because our eyes are old and experienced. We treat everything with a question. Kids don't. They're not afraid to walk into walls with the thought process that they'll get hurt. They are looking at walking into walls with the thought process that, will I bounce back?
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore.
It's interesting because I read the other day that people are born only with two fears: fear of height and I think it was fear of falling. All other fears are based on what they're exposed to, like the darkness and stuff. They don't know that they need to be afraid of the dark. It's because we tell them, don't go out at night, don't switch on the light, it's very dark. That's when the fear comes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Have you had any cultural clash moments while you've been parenting so far?
No. Because I don't parent him with a mentality from India. There is no time capsule to say, or there's no time curfew to say you have to come back by this clock, right? Yet. I should ask you, do you have something of that sort?
What?
That question you asked me, is there a cultural...
Not really. I mean, I know we recently just spoke about getting the whole thread ceremony and stuff, but and you've blatantly said no, and it's not something that I also would want or anything, but obviously for a glimmer or for a blink of a moment, I because our cousin is getting it done, I was like, oh, should we also be doing it? But that was more of the societal expectations or norms, which
That's exactly what I said, right?
which
So
obviously I kind of then backed off, saying why do I have to, just because somebody else is? We'll do what makes sense for us as a family and
what
for
makes
us
sense
as a
for
son.
him?
Yeah,
What makes sense for him, not us, right?
What is like one piece of advice you would give to a new immigrant coming to Canada now?
Times have changed, like you said. What India was 10 years back is different, right?
Research the heck out of it. Research the heck out of it. Research work, life, money, network, who, where, how are you going to be?
I think people will either paint you a rosy picture or a really horrible picture.
Which is why you need to research and take your own decision,
Yeah.
right? Now, here's the thing. As much as I always will say, no decision is wrong, you got to make it right. Sometimes making the decision right also means cutting your losses. So don't be afraid to do that, right? So I know enough people who've come here, couldn't cut it, have gone back and are incredibly successful back in India or somewhere else. So nothing wrong with that, right? But research, the challenge that I see with people coming in is they do not plan enough, and that's a huge gap. They work on the concepts of what they work based on the concepts of what is being told to them by others, and like you said, it always will paint a rosy picture because they need that cash flow by this person coming in, whether it be an institute or whether it be an immigration consultant or whoever it is. It's revenue streams that are getting generated, and they don't want to disturb it. But should you be a revenue stream and then bankrupt yourself? That's a decision you need to take, right? So there are folks who've called us and said, should we come? And we've painted a very clear picture. It's like, dude, job market sucks. And this is the actual fact of the matter. They may not like the answer, but that is the fact, right? So that's one advice that I would give. Research. And if you do decide to come, network. I think these are two very important things that you need to do.
What is the one thing that you both would like to tell the 2012 versions of yourself?
We made it! 2012 version of
The
ourselves.
version that came to this country, landed first day,
Yeah.
you meet them. If time travel exists.
Canada is not just cold, it's also very hot.
That's on the lighter side.
That's on the lighter side.
No, you go.
I mean, exactly what he said. I think I would say research, and I mean, you mean when they landed?
To you, you're
To
talking
yourself.
Or talking to myself?
Yourself 12 years back.
I
The
don't know.
2012 version of you, what is your message today to the 2012 version of you?
Actually, yeah, I wouldn't say like start your TFSAs and your RRSPs as soon as possible.
me serious.
As soon as possible. As soon as possible. And also, I think what I would say is because when I landed in 2012, I did not know the concept of credit cards. And I don't know if everybody knows that, because I know a lot of parts of the world, they don't use credit cards. They use debit or cash or Paytm in case of India. But that was a completely alien concept to me. So for me to, like, the financial aspect of how things function in this country was very alien to me. So I would definitely tell the 2012 self to, like, don't get credit cards or learn about credit cards.
You have
You have to get credit cards. Yeah. Like learn about it, learn about credit cards, learn about, credit score or whatever it is that I would have also told her, because I came with a thought or concept, or rather notion that I was going to work as an architect or a designer, which really never happened. And that journey took a turn because of a person whom I met who said that working as an architect in this country is not for everybody, because you have to be registered and not everybody can get registered, which made sense. So I would definitely tell maybe my 2012 self that architecture, yes, is what you studied, but it's not the only way or path to succeed in this country, because you can work as an interior designer, you can work as a furniture designer, you can work as an industrial designer, and that transferable skill is something that you can utilize and become successful in that industry as well. So yeah, I mean, success is not defined by what you've studied, it's defined by the path you take and how you can transfer that.
Me? I'd say stick at it. Just stick to your guns. I think that's important. If I ever go back to any version of myself, I'd be like, stick to your guns. Don't change. And I don't think I'll ever change. That's pretty much it.
You will change based on circumstance and situation.
Yeah. I mean, what I mean is like your practices, your policies.
No,
your
I don't
code.
think you're the exact same person you were 12
Oh, heck
years
no,
ago.
but like
I don't think you're the exact person you were 2 years ago.
the base model never changes, right? I mean, your base core thoughts, philosophies don't change. Your roots, the chassis doesn't change.
Okay, finally, we're now going to come to the fun segment. After all the serious talks, too many serious questions. Yes. So we're going to come to the fun sector. It's called This or That.
This or that.
So it's like the rap. I don't know. Have you seen Coffee with Karan before? The rapid fire round.
You think I would have seen Coffee with Karan before?
Come on, you lived in Mumbai. You
Again.
probably met Karan.
Just because I lived in Mumbai doesn't mean...
Hey, you said you've seen people, okay?
I've seen people.
But we've not seen Coffee with Karan.
Okay, do you know the rapid fire round where you ask the question and you answer right away?
That's typically how a rapid
Yeah.
fire round goes. Okay.
So that's what this is. No thinking. You just have to answer very quickly.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, dim the lights, everybody.
No, you said Jaguar. What
Or Jaguar, something. Jaguar, dim the lights. In this
Rapid
case,
Fire's light or something.
yeah.
You said.
Jaguar, dim the light.
Every episode.
Dim the light. Dim the light.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, ready?
Jaguar.
Ready?
Sure.
Gajar halwa or Nanaimo bars?
Gajar halwa.
Okay. Delhi winters or Vancouver summers?
Vancouver summers.
Okay. Toddler tantrum or Zoom call with a difficult client?
Toddler tantrums.
Cultural identity. Build your own or stick to tradition?
Build your own.
Chai or coffee?
Coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But you drink chai every morning.
Coffee is a pickup.
Okay. Laddu or tiramisu?
Tiramisu.
Weekend nap or toddler playtime?
Weekend nap with the toddler.
Nice one. Samosa or shawarma?
Shawarma.
Canada Day barbecue or Diwali potluck?
Barbecue.
India traffic or Canadian winters?
Canadian winters.
I second that one. Family WhatsApp group or neighborhood Facebook group?
Neighborhood Facebook group on mute.
Nice. Okay, that concludes our
Hang
episode
on.
for
I'm not
today.
on Facebook.
You are.
No, I'm
We
not.
both are.
I'm not on Facebook. So, family WhatsApp group on mute.
No, all right. That's fine. All right, that concludes our episode for today. Thank you everybody for tuning in and watching this really serious but ending on a fun note episode. If you haven't already, please do like, follow, share, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And also follow us on Spotify and on Instagram at chai, coffee, and customs_pod. Thank you and see you next time.